Career pivots always sound better after they work out. You hear the story after someone left the job, started the business, changed industries, or finally went after the thing they've been thinking about for years. But then it sounds confident and intentional, like they knew exactly what they were doing the whole time. But when you're actually in the middle of it, it usually does not feel that clear. It feels messy. It feels uncertain. Sometimes it feels exciting, and sometimes it makes you question every decision you've ever made. I know because I have lived it, and actually I'm still living it. When I left my CEO role, I knew I was ready for something different. I was excited about building my own business, speaking more, coaching women, and helping companies in a different way. But that did not mean I had every piece figured out. I did not leave with a perfect 5-year plan, a guaranteed pipeline of clients, and total confidence every single day. There were days when I thought this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And there were days when I thought maybe I should just go get another corporate job. I still think this sometimes. And this is the part we don't talk enough about. In my conversation with Trish Barber, author of Women Who Pivot, we talked about what a career pivot really looks like for women, whether the change is your choice or something that was forced on you. It's not one brave decision and then suddenly everything falls into place. It's a process. You are learning, adjusting, talking to people, trying new things, and sometimes changing your mind along the way. So if you're thinking about making a change or you're already in the middle of one, here are a few things I want you to take away from this conversation. Let's get into it. The first is to pay attention to what is draining you. Now, not every bad week means you need to quit your job. We all have hard seasons. We have demanding projects or frustrating coworkers, difficult bosses, and times when work and life are both asking just way too much from us. But there is a difference between a rough season and a situation that no longer is right for you. Maybe you're no longer learning. Maybe your health is affected. Maybe you are missing too much of your life. Maybe you keep waiting for an opportunity that is clearly not coming. Or maybe you just know deep down that you are no longer supposed to be there. Usually we know before we're really ready to admit it. So here's something simple you can do for the next 2 weeks. Pay attention to your energy. At the end of the day, write down what energized you and what drained you. Don't make it complicated. Just look for patterns. Because sometimes the question is not, do I hate my job? The better question is this still the right fit for the person I'm becoming? The second thing is to separate your identity from your title. This one was hard for me. When you spend years building a career, earning promotions, and becoming known for a certain role, it's easy to start believing that title is the value. When I left a visible CEO role, I definitely had moments of wondering who I was without the company and without the title attached to my name. Would people still take my calls? Would they still see me in the same way? Was all of my credibility tied to that position? But your title is not the full story. Your experience is still yours. Your judgment is still yours. Relationships, leadership ability, instincts, and problem-solving skills do not disappear because the business card changes. So instead of focusing only on the title you had, think about what people actually rely on you for. What do people always ask your help with? What do you do well that may feel natural to you but is incredibly valuable to someone else? What compliments have you heard throughout your entire career? Maybe you make complicated things simple. Maybe you organize chaos or build trust quickly. Maybe you see the strategy before everyone else does. This is the value you carry into whatever comes next. The third takeaway is to stop treating your pivot like a final exam where you are supposed to know every answer before you begin. This is where I had to learn some patience, which is not exactly my favorite thing. I wanted to decide what I was doing and then immediately have the business model, the clients, the messaging, and the revenue all lined up. And guess what? That's not how it worked. There was trial and error. Some things gained traction, some things did not. Some ideas sounded great, but they actually were not a fit. Other opportunities showed up that I had not expected or planned for. That does not mean the pivot is failing. It means you are learning. Trish talked about this like customer discovery. You have to understand what people need, what problems they are trying to solve, and where your experience can actually help. So get out of your own head and go talk to people. Talk to someone who works in the industry you're considering. Talk to someone who's already made a similar move, or maybe someone who knows your strengths well. And do not just ask, do you think I should quit? Ask better questions. What problems are companies in this space trying to solve? What skills are most valuable? What do people misunderstand about this kind of work? And where do you see my experience transferring? You are not asking them to make the decision for you. You are gathering information so you can make a better decision for yourself. The fourth takeaway is to own your story before other people write it for you. This matters whether you chose to leave or whether the decision was made for you. If you were laid off, reorganized out of a role, or pushed into a change you didn't want, you're allowed to feel hurt, frustrated, or angry. This is real. But when you start talking about what comes next, you need a story that is confident and forward-looking. Trish made a great point in our conversation. Your pivot story should not sound wounded. This does not mean you have to pretend everything is perfect. It means you do not have to lead with the most painful part. Instead of saying, I lost my job and I have no idea what I'm doing, you could say, after several years in marketing, I'm exploring opportunities where I can use my experience in community engagement, partnerships, and relationship building. Same person, same situation, completely different energy. Your story should answer two things. What experiences are you bringing with you, and what are you moving toward? And that story can evolve. Mine definitely has. But you need language that helps people understand where you're going and how they may be able to help. The last takeaway is one of my favorites from the episode. Build a personal advisory board. I usually call this your circle, but I love Trish's language because it makes it feel even more intentional. You should not try to navigate a major career change alone, and you do not need one perfect mentor who can give you all the answers. You need different people for different reasons. You need someone who will tell you the truth, even when it's what you don't want to hear. You need someone who will remind you what you are capable of, even when your confidence takes a hit. And you need someone who can connect you to people or opportunities you may not know about. You also need people with different perspectives, different ages, industries, and experiences. The person who gives you the best advice may not even have more experience than you. They may simply have different experience. So think about 3 people. Who will challenge you? Who will encourage you? Who will expand your thinking or your network? Then reach out and be specific. Do not send the vague, I would love to pick your brain message. Tell them what you're considering and why you would value their perspective. People are often willing to help, but they need to know what you actually need. Here's the bottom line. You do not have to know exactly how your pivot will end before you begin. You need enough of clarity to take the next step. Pay attention to what's draining you. Get clear on the value you bring beyond your title. Talk to people. Own your story, and build the circle that will help you move forward. A pivot does not have to be perfectly planned or every right move, but you cannot just leave something behind and hope the next thing figures itself out. You have to actively build what comes next. If you have not listened to Trish's full episode, I strongly encourage you to do so. And until next time, stay loud and stay lifted.